Hello, hello. How is everyone out there today? Oh my goodness. How's everybody? How you doing? Heather, how are you?
I'm doing really good. Thanks for asking. How are you doing?
I know why you're good though, because you're getting ready to go on vacation. I'd be good too.
Yeah.
And actually,
so much work that goes into getting ready for a vacation that I'm going to need a vacation from getting ready for the vacation.
I was just going to say there's so much work that goes into it, and I'm sure you're working your off to make sure that you get on.
Yeah, and it's hot. So like I'm trying to get as much in the morning as I can so I don't sweat, but
yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of hot and everything else, where are you from? Where are you from? Where are you from?
Me? Well, I'm from a place far, far away from you. That's much hotter than where you are.
One day in 3 hours, actually.
Heat. But it's a dry heat. That's all everybody ever says. And
my son told me about that. Yeah, dry heat.
For some reason, sticking your face in a 350-degree oven is better than any other kind of heat. Whatever. I don't know. But
yeah, exactly.
Anyway, where are you from? Where are you from?
I'm over here in South Carolina, upstate South Carolina. So yes, we're so I'm not quite as hot as you.
South Carolina, is that?
Well,
really
we have the
describe it?
It is.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know this is totally off topic because I want to get to what we're talking about today. But when we were driving through the area to get to your place, I was shocked and amazed at how many trees, and it was very much mountainous. I don't know if those are really mountains that we were driving through, but it felt that way. Is that what it is? Mountainous?
Yes.
I was amazed by all the trees and stuff. I really didn't expect all that.
We're at like the foothills of the mountains. That's what we're like, the upstate foothills, whatever, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's really kind of cool. It's like Andrew lives over in Tennessee, gets all the rain, and then when it hits the mountain, it just dissipates by the time it gets to us.
Oh, that makes sense. It's almost like you're protected by a wall.
It is. Hilarious.
Hey, we've got some folks out there.
Who?
We want to see
who we got out there.
Jolyn is out there.
Hey, Jolyn, how are you?
Right.
Good to see you.
Made it home in time. Richard is out there. Mike,
yep. Niagara Falls.
Canada, not California, because Richard is in California.
Yep. Right. Yeah.
Rainy and
okay.
But Andrew's here, and
sometimes you need a translator.
Would you check this out? Look within the house. Love it. Just overcast here on the coast, she says, and I'm in low country. So you're in upstate. She's in low country. See, that's it. And there are no mountains. Okay, got it. Zara made it. Hello.
Hey, Zara, I hadn't seen you in a while. Good to see you. Glad you came. Excellent.
Appalachian Mountains. I said it wrong.
The old Appalach. Yep.
So,
Appalachie.
So it's interesting because we're at the tool bench again, right? I mean, when we're at the tool bench, people take notice. This is pretty cool to be sitting at the bench together, right? All of our tools, and we're not sponsored by Ryobi, but we could be okay with that if you wanted to, Ryobi. Just nobody's listening, but we're at the tool bench, so we must be talking about tools. I wonder if anybody's caught on.
I don't know. Probably not. So
what tools are we talking about today, Michael?
So you're supposed to use that big fancy phrase, not just tools. What was it? You said it earlier. What was it? It was I can't even remember now.
Technological,
bunch of big words. She was using all these fancy words.
Yeah, I can't remember them. They're too big.
Look, once is enough. All right, I'm not going to remember more.
You didn't record it. If you didn't record it, that's your problem. I can't be held
responsible. So basically, I guess what I'm talking about is like we in our house we have a day timer. And we have post-it notes, and then we also have, like, on our refrigerator, we got this calendar that we go by. So,
okay, wait. Highly advanced technological tools like calendar on your or that big day timer 3-ring bound book that you carry around. Is that those are the technical? What is this? It's highly technical smart devices.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Highly
Really?
technical, smart
I
devices.
cannot wait to hear from the audience what
Yeah.
highly technical smart devices, such as calendar posted to the refrigerator, the audience uses. Go ahead and type in the comments all of those highly technical tools you guys use. I'd love to hear about that.
There's so many things now that your phone can do. And I was thinking about this. And the reason that I wanted to bring this up today, because I heard that.
Wait. No joking.
I have a daytime. There you go. I hear you, girl. I hear you. Girl after my own heart there. So I saw where Google, I mean, over time, this is not like they did it yesterday. They obviously bought Fitbit, and they obviously bought Fossil watch company.
No, what is Fossil? Oh, the watch company.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Wait a minute. Fitbit and a watch.
I know. So what I'm thinking, that's exactly where I was going with that. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, we're getting to anybody that knows who Dick Tracy is. I'm sure kids nowadays don't know who that is, but Dick Tracy used to use his watch all the time. And I'm thinking, hey, Google, it's about time. And I think that they're doing it the right way. They invested in two big companies in two big areas, you know what I'm saying, of what those do. So I'm really thinking possibly at this I/O this year, even though it's virtual, that they may have something with a phone. Oh,
that's interesting.
Watch coming up.
So Blake wants to know who's Dick Tracy. That's what that's about. Andrew says marker, paper, and magnets. Those are his.
I know he's got a highlighter. I know he has a highlighter. There you go. Post-it notes.
Alan says nothing. I talk to my computer and it doesn't talk back. I not to talk to Google unless I absolutely have to.
I hear you.
And what does Richard say? My smart tools are my hands to type and operate phone, ears to listen, eyes to see, snippet to sniff things, computer to even be in here. And we are glad you are here, Richard. So
absolutely. Absolutely.
Where are my Google glasses? Oh, see, now I was talking about that in the green room, because I was saying the one thing that I do wish that I got in on was the Google Glass experiment, because having a camera in your glasses, well, first of all, I invented it when my kids were born, because I said, while my kids were in front of me, I didn't want to get up and get the camera. I wish I had a camera in my glasses. I could just take a picture of them, and then voila, Google came up with it. So whatever. Go. I'm still waiting for my royalty check, but whatever. So I do wish that I got in on that. But you have a smartwatch, don't you?
I have a smartwatch. Yes, it is a TicWatch. I have a smartwatch, and when I was in the restaurant business, and then I was in the construction business. Neither one, it wasn't really good to have a watch on. So I really didn't wear a watch.
Yeah, watches of any kind.
Just because they would get damaged, ruined, whatever, etc. Right. And so I never really wore a watch until the first summit that I went to in 2015, the Google Summit, because I'm in the Forum Product Expert Group. They gave us a watch, and so I said they gave us one. I'm not going to give it away. Let's go ahead and just see, what this is all about. And so I started wearing one, and I started to learn a lot of the things that it could do. And it was almost, because I always have my phone. I think everybody kind of has their phone, whether it's in their back pocket, whatever, they almost always have their phone. But at a quick glance, it's kind of nice to see, hey, I can see somebody sent me an email, or somebody sent me a text message, or somebody sent me this. It's a brief message that you can kind of see the title of it there or whatever. And so I started really getting used to it. And then I tried to go without when it was messed up. And I said to my kids, I said, you want to get me something for my birthday in 5 days? That's it.
That is what I want. Okay.
It's unbelievable how much I got used to it, though. Apple Watch.
Interesting.
Yep,
I would like to hear from Tiger, from Doug about his Apple Watch. Does he feel the same way you do, that like without it, I need it back? Like you
Apple Watch is so much more powerful. They really did. Oh, look at there. Thank you, Richard.
Thank you, Richard. Cool is that? That's awesome. That's the current Pacific time, awesome. By the way.
I love that. Love that. Thank you, Richard.
Richard. Great job.
Awesome dude. What an awesome dude.
Jolyn says, with Google Glass, I never had to look at my watch, which I didn't wear. or my phone.
Mm-hmm.
So with the watch, I mean, with the glass, it was all displayed on screen, right? So you had stuff on screen that you saw, very similar to your watch, without having to actually look at anything.
Yeah. You really, that's interesting, because I don't think you could ever, I can't live without it. No, I get it. And the Apple Watch does so much, because you can, I mean, our coach on the baseball field, he's out there text messaging and making calls and doing whatever with his watch. I mean, he does it with his watch. So it's really kind of cool to see that in action. On which
version you get? Is that how that works? Or is it just Apple is different than the Google smartwatches?
Apple's different. Yeah. Yeah, like all these other ones don't have that technology and ability. And I think that's, I'm hoping, but I think also that Google's working on that by buying those two companies. I think that's what they're trying to be competitive, but they want to come out and be rock star instead of just come up and do it half patooted. And the other thing is, here's my thing though. I mean, I'm thinking, what kind of cost could this possibly be? I mean, are you going to pay $400 and $500 for a watch? Because that's what people are paying for a phone right now.
Well, listen. If this is what you can do with it, time your steak on your watch, I might pay $400 or $500 for it. Depends on the steak.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. Yeah. Yes. And if my wife's cooking it, great. If I'm cooking it, I'm not going to pay for it. Yeah.
Okay. So what other devices besides a watch, or do you have more to share on this watch thing? Because if you have some, backstage.
I don't have any insight. I don't have any insight, but I'm just thinking with Fitbit built in, I think there's a lot of things that this could play into, you know what I'm saying? Like what are the things that are become important and could be fairly amazing that you can do with this stuff?
So let's talk about Fitbit. Fitbit's a brand of a fitness device that you wear all the time, right? I mean, it tracks how you sleep, it tracks your heart rate. Every one of them is a little bit different. You can track your steps that you take and all that kind of thing. So you wear it all the time, just like a watch.
Yep.
I assume it tells time. I mean, that would make sense, right? That it also tells time.
I don't know that it does. I'll be honest with you. I don't know that it does.
There are different companies, right, that make different versions. And Fitbit is just one of those companies, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. And so it's interesting to me. I'd love to know from the audience who wears a Fitbit or a Fitbit style device that tracks. I mean, we know that Tiger Doug wears an Apple Watch, which has
it does have all that stuff. Yeah, it has all those features and cool stuff that it has. I think it's really interesting. I mean, it's interesting to have it just like the convenience of where it is, but to spend as much for a phone and a watch, I don't know that I could pull the trigger on that. I mean, I don't know. I probably will just because I'm a Google geek, but that's not enough reason to, I don't know. It's hard for me to say.
Richard's daughter wears one. So
right.
Richard does not. So it's interesting because recently I heard that those home devices, the devices that we have in our home that are listening and we can ask them for assistance, whether it be the Google product or the Amazon product, either way, there's this capability to listen to your health, monitor your health, and to hear your heartbeat, and there's crazy. More depth than what I'm saying, but it's kind of an interesting concept that these devices are being utilized to track our health, and it's an interesting concept. I don't know if I'm totally okay with it all, but it's a conversation anyway.
Right, exactly. And I'd be curious, with them investing and doing all this kind of stuff, it kind of brings back to glass, and you can, and I know that security was an issue or a concern because no one else knows that you're recording. No one else knows, those kind of things. So
right, with your somebody watch, wearing them into a public restroom or into a movie theater or whatever it may be,
or even your watch. Your watch. That same thing. If you start recording with your watch and somebody doesn't know about it, I mean, so there's a lot of things I think with security and stuff like that start to become concern. what about the lapel, speaker or the lapel camera or microphone? So
this is interesting. My Fitbit broke. This is from Tiger Doug, and lost all accumulated data. Oh my gosh, all your steps just missing? That would be horrible. That's why I changed over to the Apple Watch. So that's all in the cloud, I'm sure. And then you don't lose anything. Even if the watch itself gets broke, you don't lose any of that information. And God knows if you stepped 1,000,000 steps, you want to keep track, right?
I know I would.
So Richard says the Nest Hub Max and Echo Show 5 now, or Echo Show 5, neither show that though. Okay. And also sending your help to who knows who. Exactly. Good question. Good question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you could probably do studies and stuff.
Probably. The diabetes blood sugar monitors that stick to your body and sends info to your smartphone. Haven't gotten one yet, but I'm planning to ask my doctor at my next appointment. Now that's interesting because then I remember when my father-in-law was sent home from the hospital. This seems low tech now, but at the time it was pretty intense, right? He was sent home from the hospital with a scale that only he could use because it was programmed for his height, his weight, his all of his actions, like everything about his heart, all the stuff. Yeah, and it would go, all the information, anytime somebody stepped on that thing, all that information would go to the doctor. And if it didn't match up, the doctor would call to find out what was going on. That's because really they were monitoring everything that closely. And I was like, and the reason why I found out no one else could use it is because I stepped on it. I came out of the bathroom and I stepped on it to see if, what was my weight, and the phone is ringing.
Yeah.
And they're like, you've lost about 25 pounds and since your last weigh-in, and we want to check and make sure everything's okay. And I'm like, oh Lord, you don't want the whole house to know that you did that. But anyway.
And you're actually now female. We can't figure any of this out. We don't understand.
Yeah. The machine didn't know who stepped on it. Just knew that it was so too funny. All right. So Mert has joined us.
Oops, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's all right. It constant glucose monitor is covered by Medicare now, which is really interesting.
There you go.
Cool. And she's recommending the monitor. And that's why I'm going to get a prescription rather than getting my own. Smart girl.
That is a good idea. Girl. Absolutely.
Very
yep.
Cool.
100%. Yeah, no, that's good stuff. I mean, how do you guys feel? I'm curious just to hear the audience that's out there, anybody that watches this in replay. I'm real curious to hear in your comments. How do you feel about it? What do you like? What don't you like? I mean, do you feel like that's invading your privacy? Kind of like what we were talking about, right? I mean, hey, now the world knows about it, and now they can start doing studies based on just seeing whatever. I mean, do you want that out there? I mean, I don't know.
Well, and where does it end? That's kind of my question too, is where does it end? Because that we have a Google Home device here in the apartment with us. So if it's listening to us sleep, then it knows my husband snores. Maybe it can tell him, really, he does snore. I'm not just saying that. But but beyond that, it's listening to everything we're saying all the time. But then so is my phone. And when I carry my phone somewhere, I mean, I've left the home device, but it's listening. And I know it is because all I had to do was mention we need a new mattress, and I see all the ads. So
isn't that crazy?
It's listening all the time.
It's nuts. But, it's amazing.
Yeah. Jolyn says it right there. We just have to figure out where the balance is. It's somewhere. We just have to figure out where it is.
That's a great point.
I don't want to see my blood sugar level, much less anyone else's. And I'm pretty sure you won't see those numbers. It just goes to where they do studies and stuff like that. But I got nothing to hide, says Doug.
I agree. I agree with you. I feel a lot the same way, Tiger Doug. I really do. But at the same time, it's just like, so why? I don't know. Yeah. I mean,
well, and it's interesting when you're at someone else's home. I mean, think about it.
Yeah,
you don't have anything to do with smart devices. Maybe you don't have a smartphone. You don't want those speakers always listening to you, but then you go to someone else's home that's totally wired up and it's listening to you. We were just at a friend's house last night, and I know that they have devices throughout the whole thing. And it occurred to me, This is
They're
another
listening to you.
another system. Yeah, another system that's listening to what we're talking about right now. Which, again, nothing to hide, but still, just the thought of that. It's an interesting concept.
So let's ask it this way. Let's try something. Let's just think about, you may have a device at home, whether it's the A or the G, and I think you know what I'm talking about. You may have those when you say okay, whatever, or the A word. So if you have those, could you live without it? I mean, obviously you could before, but do you feel like you can, or do you think it helps? Do you think it's a help, or do you think it's a convenience? I think we need to look at it that way. Our phone, the same thing.
That's a great question. Yeah.
Do you think it's a convenience, or do you think it actually helps? Like the phone itself. I know Andrew, he's a perfect example out there, because I know he doesn't use any mobile device. So, and he may not have a device inside the house, but yet he has a computer, he has Chromebooks, he has all that kind of stuff. Or even Chromebooks and stuff like that. Do you think it's a help, or do you think it's just something else that you have to go look at all the time? I mean, that's what my thing is. That's what I'm trying to get out of this part of the segment of the show right here. What's your feelings on that? What does anybody have feelings on anything like that? Do you feel like, is it a help, or is it just convenience? Like I love, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, the only last thing I was going to say, like Google Keep, where I have our grocery list shared with my wife, that's a convenience, and it helps, because we used to forget the list and then we couldn't remember, and so we would spend money that we didn't need to and stuff like that. So that actually is both, and there may be some of that. Go ahead. I'd love to see Mert's comment. What is that?
Yeah, I think she's talking to your question here without even hearing it. I have an app on my phone that controls my front door lock, the thermostat, and so on. This makes me feel less vulnerable sitting home in my wheelchair if my husband is away, which is
fantastic.
Amazing to think of the freedom that it has given her, because she can actually unlock her door. If I remember correctly, she can unlock her door for someone she knows is coming in, and not have to be bothered with the wheelchair situation. So that's pretty awesome. That allows freedom. So this is more than convenience.
Yeah, that's help. That's actually helping. That's actually helping.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Jolyn loves her Nest thermostat. I want to hear why. I want to hear why she loves it, because I've got a thermostat. I don't know that I love it. I do when it's cool. Right now, I'm loving it. But I want to know why you love Nest more than say this digital button pushing thing I got over here. But Donna says, I have only the Fitbit Sense, and I think,
so she has one.
There's different levels of versions, right? And is that what she's saying? Like, it just senses the things that are going on, like that version. So it probably doesn't tell time.
Right, exactly.
Oh, okay. I don't think I'd like going back to manual temperature settings. So you don't want to have to walk over to the wall and push the button to make it so that you like it again, because that's what I have to do.
But I'm real curious, and Heather, maybe you can answer this, especially living like where you live. Do you really adjust that though? I mean, so for me, the reason I ask that is because we change it once for the summer and once for the winter, and then we're done.
I wish.
But do you actually do it? Do you actually do it more often than, like daily, weekly, something like that? I'm just asking you because I know you live in a very hot temperatured area. Plus, you don't want your bill to be so high.
Yeah, exactly. On occasion, it can be hourly. So really? the way it works for us is because the temperature outside gets pretty hot, but we're not necessarily here. If we're not here, I don't want it keeping the space as cool as I would if I were in the space, because that's wasted. But I definitely don't want it to get too hot, because then it's a real pain for
melting candles. Melting candles.
You overwork the machine, so you can't turn it off. So what we do when we leave, we turn it up to like 80, so that when we come home, it's always like a race. Who's going to get in first and turn the air down, and turn it down to 76 or something. But at night we turn it down much cooler than in the morning. I turn it back up so that it's not, blowing at that cold in the morning. And then about midday I change it, because that's when the heat.
So this device sounds amazing for you. This is something you should actually consider. I swear.
I have wanted to invest in a Nest thermostat since the day we moved in here, pretty much. But I mean, you know,
it has to be practical
too. For 6 months. Remember that 4 years ago, I was supposed to be here for 6 months, so that didn't make sense then.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, she says she can completely control the temperature in my home from anywhere. See, and that would be amazing because, like, if we left and we've done this before, oh crud, did you turn the air up?
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
I could just whip out the phone and turn it, right?
Yeah.
She says, and Mert says she locks it after they close the door, which is amazing. That is so cool. I
do that same thing. We just got one of those for work, and I tell you what, it is so useful. But anyway, yes, Zara says keep is so helpful. I agree.
Yeah.
Yep. In my case, Andrew's all toys.
Yes, all toys. So this is more of a convenience or more of a fun hobby for Andrew to have the Chromebooks and all the different types and stuff. Yeah.
So he's definitely, I mean, in his eyes, I mean, seriously, it is a more of a convenience probably than a help for him.
Yeah. I think it's more of a help though, because it's how he connects, right, with the rest of us. So I think it does help him. Does he need as many as he has? No. And he knows he doesn't need them as many as he has, but he likes them. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's what I think it, especially with the situation that the world is in right now, I really believe that the connection is big. That's a big deal. Mm-hmm. Now, whether that's a device that's on your phone, whatever, however you do that, do you need all of those? Maybe not.
Right.
I mean, are there people that have a phone but don't have a computer? Are there people that have just a Chromebook and nothing else? I mean, I'm real curious because almost everybody has more than one thing. Or do you know someone that has just that one device?
You know, even my grandmother, who is 97, has a desktop computer, an iPad, and a cellular phone.
97. Wow. She probably
She also has a Google Hub Max that, you know, so she can see all the pictures flipping through, and so I can, you know, kind of monitor what's going on. So
and phone someone. She can also call too, which is nice.
Yeah, well, she uses that to call me whenever she needs anything. She just says magic. We say the magic words, and then you will call me for you. So that's what she does. It's kind of cool. Mike wants to know, what other devices do I need? Well,
I don't know. I guess that's kind of what I'm asking. Yeah. Yeah. Something back here. Again, Ryobi, are you listening?
Oh, what do we got here? Scott has joined as well. What's he saying here? Your location is now public. Keeping relationships honest. That's what we do here.
Yeah, there you go.
Very cool. Yeah, set a schedule. See, that makes total sense.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and check to see if the garage door is in fact closed. That we needed that the other day. Came home, the garage door was wide open. I thought you closed that.
Yeah, Mert, how come you didn't close our garage door?
Hey, thanks for that, Mert. Everybody hit that like button. I would like to see if we can get like to over 20 likes on this video. Like that would be amazing if we could do that.
That would be cool. I don't know if we can though. That would be tough. But anyway, if we can,
everybody watching everywhere came over to YouTube and just hit the button and went back to what they were doing, I think they could. But anyway, that's another show.
True. That's possible. Anyway.
Scott absolutely needs his cycling stats. Now he's talking about bicycling, which amazes me. It amazes me that he's a part of that club and how many miles he has put on his bike, and just that's so cool. Could you imagine if that information was somewhere and you could look and see that you've gone like 3 million miles in the last year or something?
Yeah, but I would have somebody else's device on my wrist probably. I'd be like, oh no, that wasn't me. That wasn't me.
Michael, you do your walking every day, right? You do your walking every day, and you do it for like what, half hour?
I do 30 minutes every day.
Do you have any idea how many steps you take in a half an hour?
It's on my watch. I mean, I don't ever really look at it.
You do have it? No?
Yeah, really? I have it, but I don't look at it.
About that. No?
I know. Okay. See, to me, I don't want to know. I'm a little different. I'm a little different that way, but we're about at time. Let's see here. Go ahead. What? I like the device.
Oh, I like this. Yeah. Legitimately. I like that she added legitimate.
She did add that, which is good. She did add that, which was very, very smartly added. Yeah.
So cool. So very cool. And John, I see. I understand what Jolin's saying. The first thing she does when she joins the session is hits that like button. Thank you, Jolin. We appreciate you.
Appreciate that. That's awesome.
That's right.
Awesome of you. Yeah. I don't know. I just think that, what does Andrew say there? I've always been a hermit.
Oh, he says, always been a hermit. So the present situation doesn't really affect him like it does everyone else. And Donna and Sheila are both agreeing. Hi, Sheila. Glad you're here.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, I think a lot of us who are hanging out and have been a part of this video conferencing world for the last couple of years weren't really all that affected by the pandemic and having to stay home. But, you know, being able to connect through these devices, be it a computer or an iPad or a cell phone or a Chromebook or any of the other ways that we do this, has been very beneficial. And so when we talk about, you know, is it a convenience or is it a help? I would say I have experienced a lot of convenience over the years, but this past year, it has been a help to stay sane.
Yeah, I think so too. I really, really do. I mean, it keeps, I've been closer with family because of it. Some family that I haven't seen for a long time or socialized with and that kind of thing. It's made it more open because it's stuff that I was doing. That's the thing that I've learned most is that now I can sit there and say, hey, listen, let's chat over a Zoom meeting or something. And they know what I'm talking about.
And nobody looks at you like you're nuts.
And they're going, what? What are you talking about? Just call me, you know, or whatever they'll say or something like that.
Yeah, how it used to be. Is Zoom how it is now? Well, can we just Zoom? Do you know how to do that?
Exactly. Exactly. Yep.
And let's see. Mert says it has opened up a while. New bit of creativity. I was taking art lessons in person, commuting and all, and now I'm hanging out with Heather's Art Adventure. That's so sweet of you, Mert. And Jolin says, have to agree with that one. You know what? I always have to put up one that says they have to agree with me.
Heather was right. Heather was right.
Hashtag Heather's right. Anyway, I think it's a fun conversation. I think we have opened up to, you know, this conversation about all the different types of technological, advanced, highly technical devices like day timers and Post-it notes. Hey, Post-it notes. That's what I was going to tell you about when you said.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, tell them about that because you told me about this in the green room. I thought this was really, really unnecessary, but really cool. Really cool.
So I was on Amazon the other day, and there is a device that you can actually purchase. I mean, there's a device you can purchase on Amazon every day, but anyway, this one. You can control it. You can control it with the A word. You know, for those of you who have A devices, you can control it with that, and it will print for you a Post-it note. I guess writing on a Post-it note is a little too, you know, passé. Difficult. So yeah, you get yourself a little A controlled Post-it note. For those of you wondering why we keep calling them A's and G's, because we don't want to set up your devices.
Yeah, we don't set up your devices. Especially if you have your speakers on. If you have your headset on, usually the device doesn't come on. But
Thanks, Jolin. I'm putting that up there for
Heather's.
Followed by.
Art Adventure is great. There you go.
Thank you. Could you imagine this past year without the communication technology that we use? No, not at all. I really can't, because I think I would have probably gone insane.
Yeah.
Having a weekly show like this to come and hang out with and talk about anything. And then what we do afterwards, the backstage pass. I mean, being able to hang out with our community members backstage after the show, talk more about this topic or whatever they have.
They want,
whatever's
on peace of mind, or whatever's on their mind, I guess is the way to put it.
Exactly.
It's so cool.
Exactly. So really glad that everybody had the opportunity to join us today. And I really do hope that the members will join us in the Backstage Pass. And yeah.
And here's the deal. So here's your assignment. Okay. Those that are joining in the Backstage Pass, be ready to tell me every single device that you use, since that was the topic for today, any one of them that you use on a regular basis and why. And then there you go. Heather's ready. Pencil.
I have my device ready. Pencil.
Pencil. That's right. And anybody that is watching this later, please let us know in the comments what devices you use. I'd be real curious to hear. Maybe there's different devices. Maybe they're the same. And I don't have to have the technical name, but if you want to put that, like I have an HP Chromebook, you can do that. And Andrew, your list is going to take a while, so prep yourself before you come into the after backstage.
He probably has a spreadsheet. He already has
a spreadsheet with a list
on there, so don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. He'll just share it with you. As a matter of fact, speaking of Andrew, he says, hashtag, Andy might not be right, but he is never wrong.
Okay, that's a long hashtag, and I don't think they accept it. It helps us gain peace of mind. That's true.
Yes, that's exactly.
True.
Exactly.
That is true.
And here we go, a little self-promo here. Tinkering with Tech, a great community. You guys are just amazing. Thank you so much. If you do want to join, there is a link in the description. tinkeringwithtech.net. That's where you go to find out more about what we do, what we offer, and what you can get for only $10 a month. And you can cancel.
Right.
You have access to everything, and you can cancel after you've gotten your fill. You don't even have to stick around if you don't want to. We won't make you. I promise. Well, Michael might, but I don't.
You can click the QR code or take a picture or use your phone to use the QR code too. Take you right to the Tinkering with Tech site. Thank you, Heather.
Technology. We're going to have to talk about QR code technology one day on this show.
We can do that. Thank you, Heather.
No problem. We'll see you. This is a great topic, my friend.
We'll see you in a couple weeks. We'll see you in a couple weeks, right?
Yes, that's true. I will not be on next week, but I'm pretty sure it'll be a great show. As a matter of fact, don't have a great show without me next week, okay?
Yes, I'm going to have amazing guests.
Hey,
I'm going to have all kinds of stuff. Hey, Dana, how are you? Hey, Dana. And I believe she gave a thumbs up. She did over on the Facebook side. Hey, thanks, everybody. Awesome. We will see you over in the community. Hey, we're going to be on their show soon, too. So anyway.
In May. That's coming up in May. That's coming up in May.
That's right. Hint. That's right. And then, so thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. And we'll see you in the after Backstage Pass. See you guys. Bye, all.